EA Sports, in conjunction with the R&A, present the final major championship of the year. Today, from the old course at St. Andrews, live second round coverage of the 150th Open. Well, if we see more of what we witnessed yesterday, we're in for a heck of a battle these next 3 days as we show you the current leaderboard here on this Friday. Our leader on this Friday is our featured golfer. He's on top by 3 as he gets set to begin play. Uh-oh. Oh, and that will run all the way through the fairway into the burn here at 1. An early mistake off the tee. So the drop taken, and now he'll try to find some way to fashion an up and down from where he is and still get out of here with a par. That could be important as we go along. A good save of par here at 1. And he's going to hold on to that 3-shot lead. Here we are now at the second. Always so important to try and establish a good round in these opening holes, Frank.
In the second hole, especially with the prevailing breeze and today's modern equipment, the odd player has actually driven this green, but you really see the tone of the golf course. The middle of the golf course is protected. There's a series of bunkers down there, but left is always the safe side of the golf course. It's the best line to play your second shot from on the whole golf course is always the right side, and we see that here at the second.
No damage done after missing the first fairway, but he should like this one a little bit better here at number 2. This is why you practice these shots from under 100 yards. You've bombed your drive. Now it's time for the touch shot. Zip one in there close.
In my book, that's a good shot. You could really aim at the middle of just about every single green. If you did it all day long, some of those would finish up close, and you'd have plenty of birdie putts.
Oh, yes. Plenty of pace to get up that slope. It is in for a birdie. And after the 62 yesterday, he'll move to 1 under for his round. At the third hole now, Frank, it looks relatively easy, but you know there's some danger lurking somewhere out there on the old course.
There is. There's the pot bunkers down the right side. This is a tee where really you want to have an idea where that wind is coming from. If it's into your face, you might want to be a little cautious and go towards the middle of the golf course. But if it's behind you, well, then it's worth challenging that right side.
And this, a tee shot that fits the eye, and that'll be just fine. Notah Begay down on 3 green to look at this putt for birdie.
And he may need to give this just a little extra. He's going straight up the hill, but otherwise fairly painless.
Nicely done, and things looking good early. That's birdies at 2 and 3. And he moves to 2 under for his round, 12 under all told. You might be asking, why have so many of golf's greatest course architects drawn from the old course? Well, here's a good example. It's about the options, a couple of ways to get after a hole. You can take a risk and you would be rewarded by going toward that narrow valley on the right. But there's always a price to pay. Safer play is to go for the plateau on the left. Again, all about options at the old course.
That was sweet.
He needs to be mindful of the breeze here as he sets for a second.
Ball is always heading a little bit right, but inside 10 feet, there's nothing wrong with that on this hole.
Just 6 feet left for the birdie. Yeah, that's a well-played hole. It's a birdie here at 4. And he'll move to 13 under par for the tournament. Well, here's a real scoring opportunity. The first par 5 on the front side at St. Andrews, the 5th hole. It's only 514 yards. That greenhouse, this is a football field deep. The key here, yet again avoiding the big bunkers. They're called the Seven Sisters bunkers off the tee. If you do that, you'll have a great chance to get home in two. And that one gonna wind up in the bunker. Second shot straight ahead, and we go to Iona Stephen.
Yeah, unfortunately a bit of a leaky tee shot there, finding one of the Seven Sisters bunkers down the right-hand side, and that will prevent getting home in two at this par 5.
Okay, that's a good, safe play. Get it back out into the fairway. Get some distance if you can, and gets it to try and make a good third on this par 5.
And one of those instances where backspin actually hurts you. Just drew that ball back, but still a chance for the putter to shine.
Got it there, but not quite on target. That one finished off. It is a par here at 5, and he's going to maintain that substantial lead. Now to the 374-yard par 4/6, another scoring opportunity.
And just be very careful of the wind conditions here, because that'll affect the strategy off the tee. But bunkers left and right to be avoided.
This up the right side off the tee.
It might be in the rough, but that was absolutely crushed.
Ball sitting okay here for his second here at the 6th.
Shame, good opportunity, but that ball just sailed on by.
All right, that's a board, but a lot of green between ball and hole. A look here at birdie.
And this really is all about visualization. You've got to see the line in your head, pick out a spot, maybe a foot and a half in front of you, and aim for that.
Just a touch firm there. That'll be about 3-4 feet coming back. Nicely read there. It is a par here at the 6th. And that's going to keep this large lead right where it is. Over the ball here at the 7th. And Frank, if you had to script a game plan here, what would it look like?
You could drive this pretty close to the green. This is a green that's shared with the 11th, the par 3. And so you won't see that tee shot finish, but you can actually drive very, very close to a bunker called the Shell, which is the one that protects the par 3 11th.
And that ball going to roll out a little too much as the momentum carries it all the way into the bunker. A lot to worry about here as he digs in for his second. I always knew when I was swinging well, fairway bunker shots from a long distance, you've got to hit it clean. But when you do, you can still hit it close. Great shot. Trying to generate some momentum here at the 7th hole. This for birdie. Yes, runs that one right in. It's a birdie here at the 7th. And he's got it to 14 under par. Arriving now at the first of only 2 par 3s at the Old Course, 166-yard 8th, featuring a high-lip bunker guarding the front of the green that is difficult to hold. Oh, that is just about perfect right there. Very well done. We haven't seen many closer than this all day. It's for birdie. Yes, getting hot here just before the turn. That's birdies now at 7 and 8. And he moves to 15 under. Rounding out the opening 9 here at St. Andrews. And Frank, this par 4 features a couple of fairway bunkers that players will have to contend with.
Yeah, this is a fun hole when you first stand on that tee and look at it. You see those bunkers smack bang in the middle of the fairway. The last bunker there in the middle is called the end hole. This hole is called the end. But this green, too, is so flat, very, very difficult to read. But if you get there, pull the head cover off the driver. Remember, this is the only chance you get to play the Old Course.
No issues here. That is into the fairway. So a big drive, and not much needed to carry here for his second. Strong approach shot here at the 9th, and a good opportunity to finish this side with a birdie. Chance now for another birdie. Yep, that's nicely done. It's a birdie here at the 9th. And that will make this an even 30 for the front side, going out in 6 under par. As we begin the backside here at St. Andrews, you can really feel the history. This hole named in honor of the legendary Bobby Jones, who won the 1927 Open and the 1930 Amateur. Obviously, 1930 was his Grand Slam year. He retired, by the way, at the age of 28. And then founded and built with Alister MacKenzie Augusta National. So a little bit of history lesson as you play this 340-yard par 4 10th. Oh my goodness, that is on in 1. Wow, what an incredible shot. One feature of so many of these older British courses, the oversized greens, and this, a long look for eagle. Yeah, from that far away, anything inside of 5 feet is pretty darn good. Oh, everything going right now. That a 4th consecutive birdie. And he's just continuing to pour it on here on this Friday. Frank, number 11, the Eden, is really one of the more fascinating holes in all of golf.
The two bunkers that the players normally worry about, Strath bunker in the front and the Hill bunker to the left. What makes those two bunkers so difficult is the steepness of the faces in them.
He'll take that, no doubt. And that'll be a birdie putt coming up here at 11. Now this for another birdie. Good speed there. That'll leave just a couple of feet. So that brushed in for par here at 11. And he'll remain well in control of this tournament. Well, don't be fooled. It says only 316 yards on the card. This is the 12th hole. But you can really end up in a ton of trouble here. bunkers are hidden all over the fairway. If you want to get through this hole clean, probably take out the long iron and play it down the left side. That'll still give you a short approach in. That's going to be up the left-hand side.
He gets a little lucky there and even bounces back into the fairway.
So can he capitalize on the break here? His second from the short grass. A dead-on look here for birdie. Okay, that'll help the cause. It's a birdie here at number 12. And he continues to just build up a massive lead for the weekend. We arrive now at the challenging 418-yard par 4 13. Tee shot has to avoid those coffin bunkers, and the approach should be aimed at the middle of this massive double green.
Well, that drive was enormous. I know it's in the rough, but it is long.
Not in the fairway, but not a real problem here at the 13th, getting set to play his second shot. It is always so disappointing from that kind of a spot when you come up short.
Yeah, you're licking your chops over that one. A shot you think you could hit directly at the flag. Now, test for the short game. Job was made harder by the second shot coming up short, but excellent use of the flop shot and a chance to escape with a par.
Okay, safely in for par here at 13, and he'll remain at 18 under. Frank, what's the strategy here at the 14th?
If you can't go for this par 5 and 2, Rich, there is another option where you can go left. And I mean left of left. That's down the 4th fairway. That's across the Elysian Fields, as they call it, which is a set of hummocks that run down the middle, and you can find a flat lie there and come across at about a 45-degree angle for your third shot to 14.
That one up the right side. Looking for a strong finishing kick here on this Friday to get set up for the weekend, and that another good drive here. Frank, there's a perfect example of the difference in the way the game is played in Scotland and the way it's played in the United States. In the U.S., in the air, you fly the ball to the whole location. Here, you play that baby right on the ground. That was well done.
Yeah, the biggest problem is when is the ball going to stop? And that's what you have to judge.
Chance now for another birdie. That's how you play this 14th hole. That's in for birdie. And he moves to 19 under for the tournament. Frank, one of the things I always loved about links golf is that you're not aiming at a flagstick or a tree, but sometimes you're aiming for a steeple in the distance, and this is a good example here at the 15th.
Yeah, the church steeple is the exact line off the tee. That gives you sort of the center of the fairway. Really, you don't have to be overly bold off the tee. This is about just finding a nice flat lie for that second shot, because this is another difficult green that's well protected by just one little bunker that's in the front left that you don't think comes into play. But if your second shot doesn't land the right distance, more often than not, it just gets swallowed up by that.
Gotta think this an extra half club or more as he sets for his second into the wind.
Good approach shot, and birdie putt coming up. Approach shot just a little right, little short.
This will be a 14-foot putt here. Nope. Okay, a solid par here at the 15th. And he's going to stay at 19 under par. Headed for home now, partner. The 16th hole, and what are we looking at here?
Well, you have to avoid the principal's nose. Otherwise, you're going to finish up in the principal's office.
All right, Frank, another par 4. It's the 16th. Players trying to make their way to the house, standing up in one piece. What's the best way to get at this hole?
Well, the normal player would actually try and hit the ball down the left. I've seen the odd player try and hit it down that out-of-bounds line and sort of flash it down the right side, but really there's not much of an advantage, Rich, unless you're the longest hitter in the business. So a little short and a little left of the principal's nose is a nice setup for the second shot here at 16.
Put himself in an excellent position. Keyboards, 88 yards. Really good opportunity here. Second shot.
It's a good shot, but does leave that little uphill putt, so that one will be slow.
Now this for another birdie. Pure roll there. That is down for a birdie here at 16. And he gets it to 20 under par. Frank, so many famous landmarks on this hole. The hotel on the right, you want to avoid that. The bunker on the left, and then the stone wall beyond the road.
Yeah, there's all those features is one of the reasons why no one would be allowed to design a hole like this today. It also makes it not only unique, but I think that's the greatness of the hole, is that all those problems you've...
Ooh, some big drives today. That might be the biggest of the bunch. He'll be factoring in this breeze in his face as he sets for a second.
And that one barely makes the front of the green. Do you realize if you just miss hit the middle of the club by 1/4 of an inch, you lose 10%? That's right, 10%.
And this will be a 5-foot putt here. Yeah, that's a good putt. It is in for par here at 17. And he'll stay at 20 under. Frank, you stand on the tee here at 18, and history is staring you right in the face.
Yeah, you have the Rusacks Hotel on the right, the Dunvegan over the back, the R&A building. Just standing there, you're reminded of how far this great game has come, and all these hundreds of years, I guess, in the future, and where will the game be then?
This one working up the right side. Looking for a strong finishing kick here on this Friday to get set up for the weekend, and that another good drive here. So not a whole lot left to go here as he'll set up his second to this par 4. Okay, on the green, but that's going to leave a putt that will get your attention. Chance now for another birdie.
Well, I've really been impressed with how he's handled the speed on the greens, but this one is going to be a tester down the hill.
Needed that to turn a little more, but it hung out wide. Okay, so that will wind up a par at the last. And this is going to be a second round score of 62. That's some lights out playing. So this a position we've seen our featured golfer in before, on top of the leaderboard after 36 holes at a major championship.
And we know they're not scared to pick up that trophy that so many people work so hard for, Rich. When you're a multiple major winner, it's just a case of how many.
So for Frank Nobilo, Notah Begay III, and Iona Stephen, I'm Rich Lerner. We'll see you next time on EA Sports PGA Tour Golf.